What if I told you that the shells, skins, and other crop leftovers from the food you eat every day could fuel more than just your body? This is the North San Joaquin Valley, where farmers, scientists, and entrepreneurs are turning that potential into reality. Nestled between the Bay Area and the Sierra Nevada, this valley plays a major role in California agriculture, contributing to nearly 3/4 of the nation's fruits and nuts, and 77% of the world's almonds that the state produces. But here's what you don't see.
For every handful of almonds in your trail mix, this valley produces over twice that in excess biomass.
Biomass in this case refers to everything you don't eat that comes from crops. Things like fruit skins, nutshells, and orchard trimmings. And California farms produce a lot of it. About 26 billion pounds worth of scraps per year. That's roughly the equivalent to 7 weeks worth of trash from all 132.5 million households in America.
It's nuts.
Some might call biomass waste, but farmers here don't use that word, because biomass has value. Many already put these excess materials to use, from feeding it to livestock to returning it to the soil. Still, the return is modest, and it's left many farmers wondering,
how do we unlock its value?
Even the most resourceful farmers operate on razor-thin margins. In 2026, less than half of U.S. farms are expected to turn a profit, and farm bankruptcies have surged 46% year over year. But what if the same crops that feed us could also power our communities, turning farmers into producers, not just of food, but materials that sustain our future? Think tomato processing leftovers that could become bioplastics, manure that could power homes, and almond shells, dry, carbon-rich, and abundant, that could become cleaner fuels for planes or your cars. This idea is starting to take root in the North San Joaquin Valley, where even a discarded shell or hull can become part of something bigger.
So the almond that you eat is technically the pit of a fruit. And around that is the shell, and around that is what we call the hull, which is technically the fruit.
This is Christine Gemperle, an almond farmer in California's North San Joaquin Valley. Along with her brother Eric, she runs Gemperle Farms, one of about 7,600 almond orchards across the state.
For every pound of almonds we harvest, we end up with almost 2 pounds of hulls and shells. We're just eating the almond as consumers, but we, as the farmers, were left with the shell and the hull.
If you multiply those hulls and shells by the 20,000 acres of almond farms surrounding Christine's farm, you end up with something like this.
Historically, we've had limited uses for the shell and the hull. And there's a lot more potential for it because there's a lot of sugars and other antioxidants in the hull.
Almond hulls and shells are more versatile than they seem. The hulls are packed with natural sugars and plant fibers that can be turned into biofuels or natural food ingredients. And the shells are made of tough, woody fibers that can be transformed into things like powerful soil enhancers. So how do we actually make these transformations happen? It starts with science. There are actually a number of techniques for converting biomass into valuable products. At Berkeley National Lab and UC Merced, researchers are working on advancing several of them. One approach, called gasification, works especially well on dry, carbon-rich materials like almond shells. In gasification, almond shells are placed in a chamber where very high heat, around 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, and almost no oxygen are used to rearrange the atoms in the shells, creating a mix of gases called syngas. Syngas is a key ingredient to making renewable fuels.
Whenever you have some sort of a biomass, you add heat to that, and there's gases that come out of that. Those gases are flammable, and we can capture them and use them for power generation, for heating. We can convert those gases to biofuels. We can do different things.
Another approach is fermentation, which takes a very different path. Tough biomass like fruit skins or nutshells are first broken down into sugars. Microbes feed on these sugars and convert them into oils and molecules that become the ingredients for renewable diesel.
We're all very familiar with fermentation in that it is the basis for making beer and wine. In this case, we're using microbes that have been genetically engineered to produce the precursors to jet fuel. And we can do that with the kinds of agricultural biomass that we find in the North San Joaquin Valley.
These conversion technologies hold enormous promise for the future of agricultural biomass. But promise alone doesn't build an industry. In the North San Joaquin Valley, biomass is scattered across nearly 9,000 farms, spread across San Joaquin, Stanislaus, and Merced counties, many of them small, and each one handling its bioproducts a little differently. Biomass has value, but it's costly to move. Unless a processing facility is nearby, the price of trucking it can quickly eat away its worth. There's still no centralized map or database that shows what's available, where it is, and what it's made of. A database of info might not seem cutting edge next to modern conversion technologies, but it's the very information engineers and investors need to design viable, cost-effective projects.
One of the challenges with using the waste that's available in the North San Joaquin Valley is they're all different and they're not well characterized, and that data isn't in one big centralized place where people can go to figure out, hey, if I've got a gasifier and I want to use that waste to generate syngas, and then I'm going to use that syngas to make a product, maybe I'm going to burn it for electricity, what's available to me nearby, and what kind of meets the compositional needs that I have.
Corinne Scown is a lead researcher with the BioCircular Valley project, or BioCirv, which is a collaborative research project aiming to enable high-value use of biomass in the North San Joaquin Valley. One of BioCirv's goals is to map the region's biomass so it's easy for farmers, scientists, and entrepreneurs to find the tools and resources they need.
One of the tools we're building that I'm most excited about is the geospatial tool. So imagine you drop a pin anywhere in California, and you can figure out what feedstocks are available right around you and where they are. So maybe you want feedstock with an ash content below a certain value, or you want low moisture feedstock. You can go in and play with all of those values and get a customized report that just gives you the feedstock that suits your conversion process.
En esta área de aquí hay trabajos muy mal pagados. El promedio de las personas que son que les pagan bien es como el 23.8%.
Almost 1 in every 2 households in the North San Joaquin Valley's Merced County don't earn enough to cover basic needs. But the hope is that increased awareness around these tools and technologies can help create thousands of quality jobs. That's the future that BioCircular, a partner of the BioCirv project, envisions for the region.
Our role in the BioCircular Valley project is to really connect the incredible information and data that is being generated through this R&D project into actionable tools for industry and community. So our job is to listen and learn alongside you so we all can figure out the solutions together. So we have a wide range of programs and initiatives that are really focused on building local capacity, including our Community Ambassadors program, where we bring in local community members who are interested in advancing new opportunities for their neighborhoods, for their children, and for their families.
En estas reuniones con BIM he aprendido que todos desperdicios se pueden reusar y convertir en electricidad, en cosas buenas, fertilizantes, textiles.
Creo que es una gran oportunidad para diferentes trabajos, para poder ayudar a la gente de esta comunidad, que en realidad es algo que es urgente. Necesitamos trabajos que puedan sostener a las familias de esta comunidad, y esta idea es algo que lo puede lograr.
Imagine a future where farms do more than feed us, where the same crops that fill our tables also create the materials that shape our world. In this future, farmers aren't just growing food, they're turning sunlight, soil, and science into the building blocks of a more sustainable economy. And it's already beginning here in California's North San Joaquin Valley with the crops you eat every day.